Hey there, it's Bobi, aka Paginator. Welcome back to 31 Days of Craftoween. This video will comprise days 5 through 8. And on day 4, we lit a candle and it made everything smell so lovely. We're gonna light it again. This came in a bookish subscription box. It is called 300 Foxway. And the scent notes are orange blossom, honey, jasmine, and musk. It is inspired by the Raven Boys series by Maggie Stiefvater. And yeah, it's a lovely candle. All right, prompt time. Time to fetch the prompts out of day 5. And here we go. We have our papers here, and our purple word is broomstick. Our orange word is a label. And our green word is acrylic paint. Broomstick, a label, and acrylic paint. How am I gonna do that? Help? I've got a plan for at least the first part of things. So I have a piece of really thick mixed media stock here, and I have some paint. Now these are metallic paints in purple, green, and orange. Well, this one's technically called rose gold, but it's orange. So I want to try something where I do like dots of paint over the page and then use my brayer to smooth it out. So let's see if this works or not. So while I'm shaking up this paint, I am just gonna give you a little bit of what my thought would be, is if I could use the acrylic paint to make a background, then I can either do like a die cut of a broomstick, because I do have a broomstick die cut, or make some kind of pieced together broomstick. Maybe I can find some fun elements to use for like the sweepy part of the broom, like some twigs or something like that. I don't know, maybe some raffia would be fun. And yeah, what was our other word? Acrylic paint, broomstick, and label. So we can do a label on that. So that's kind of my first thought. We'll see how we do. Oh, these are bigger drops than I had planned on. So this orange color is actually rose gold. Oop, that was, whoa. Both of those were bigger than I wanted. So it's not truly orange, but it's gonna give us an orange-ish tone, and it was also metallic. So you know what, that'll be our orange color. All right, I have no idea how this is gonna work or perhaps fail. So here we go. Ooh, okay. Alright. There's a lot of paint on here. I'm just gonna try to smooth it out. Now, everything has been kind of taken over by that rose gold. The purple and green isn't showing through very much. Let me take my small brayer and see if I can lift some of that up. One thing I don't love about brayers is how they make lines on the paper, but it's just what they do, I guess. I don't know what we can really do about that. Okay, I'm gonna dry this and then we'll see what we can do to maybe bring out some of those other colors, because the rose gold has taken over everything. Alright, so you saw I added some mica stain in Wicked Elixir and Fortune Teller. And now I'm gonna do some stamping on the background because right now I hate this. And I'll tell you what, I'm not gonna throw it away and give up because we can make it work. That's what junk journalers do. So I am gonna take some archival ink in black soot, and I'm gonna use this stamp, which is Shattered by Tim Holtz and Stampers Anonymous, CMS 466. And we're gonna ink up this whole Shattered stamp. Archival ink is permanent, so it's not like oxide where it will react to water and that kind of thing. I need to get one of those pressure tools that looks like an air hockey thingy. I could just steal the air hockey thing from my parents' house, but I'm pretty sure my nieces and nephews would be very upset if they couldn't play air hockey anymore. All right, I like the crackle. We're getting somewhere here. I feel like we need more black though, so I am going to get some black paint and do some splattering. Oh my gosh, look, I got Wicked Elixir on my stamp. You can see that little green dot there. Can you see it? Yeah. Okay, so black paint. Splatters with black paint. This is another way to fulfill our acrylic paint prompt. This is just black glossy acrylic paint from Apple Barrel. That's the brand that's usually sold in like Walmart and places like that where you can get it pretty cheap. These paints that I showed you, I got at Joann's, which is a store that's no longer in business anymore, but I'm sure you can get these other places. The brand is Folk Art. We need some water. Oh, hello. Splatter brush. Oh no, these splatters are too tiny. Okay, just keep adding them. Okay, we're doing better. All right, so what really helped was swiping my brush through the extra watery parts of the paint to get just like more of it on there. That's a lot of black splattering, I know, but I want a lot. I want to take a look at my broomstick die cut. I think it might be a little bit small for what I'm picturing here, but also we can cut this down to size, I don't know. So while this dries, I'm gonna go take a look at that and yeah, I'll come back with hopefully some ideas. Look what I found. So this is in the paper witchcraft collection, and I found a broom we can fussy cut. Yay. And now we shall fussy cut. while cutting out the broomstick, I was thinking, I think there's a witch in my collage and cut book. So I found her and cut her out, and cutting around those little bird's legs was a little fiddly, but we made it through. And I think I want to put her with the broomstick on this painted paper that we made. The black splatters are not quite dry yet, so I'm gonna make sure that they are completely dry before we do anything else, and I will be back with you soon. We have not glued her down yet, but I did add a little tiny bit of glue on the stick in a couple of places just to hold the two pieces together. And we're gonna go ahead and glue this down. I want to point out that some bits on our little witchy are gonna hang slightly over the sides of this because I did cut it down a bit. But it should still fit within the bounds of the page that I'm planning to put it on. So I'm not super worried about that. I'm trying to get the glue on all these little fiddly bits. She is so cute. Not gonna lie, when we first put the paint on and I put too much of the rose gold so it took over everything, I was like, crap, I hate this. But we made it better. All right, now we need a little label. And what I was thinking in terms of placement was possibly almost on the very last page of the journal. We have this piece with the spooky font, and I just don't care for it. So I thought, okay, we'll put her on top of there. And then we'll just have the end of this fairy loot envelope left to go before we're at the very, very end. So could we have a label that says something like the end or at journey's end or something like that? I have some labels that I made a while ago, and some of them are, oh, these are empty ones. Where are the ones I made? Oh, none of these are Halloween. Okay, these are the ones that I made, and I apparently used all of the ones that could be used for spooky bits, but we can take one of these papers and make our label on it. I want to cut it down so it's a bit smaller because we don't want the label to take over. I have a Sharpie pen here, and I'm going to write out the end, and we'll do some little detailing by making some of the lines a little thicker. And let's put an exclamation point because why not? All right, so I've got some clamps holding this down just because it's such thick paper that it doesn't want to stay very well. But we'll let that completely dry, and that'll be it for day 5. As I said earlier, this video is going to go from day 5 through day 8, so don't go anywhere. For you, it'll be just a moment, but for me, I'll come back tomorrow and tackle day 6. Welcome back, it's day 6. We're gonna light our candle. I have a feeling that this little guy is gonna be used up before the Craftoween is over, but that's okay because if there's one thing I have, it's candles. They come in book subscription boxes and all kinds of things. All right, we've got our journal here. We've got our candle lit. Now we need some prompts. Let's go to the advent calendar. Okay, here are our words. We'll start with our purple Halloween word, and today it will be haunted. Okay. And then our orange junk journal word is going to be vintage. And our supply or tool is going to be calligraphy pen. Okay, haunted, vintage, and calligraphy pen. Okay, I found some things. This giant box is full of ink, and we've got some glass dip pens. I've got another glass dip pen here because I forgot there were ones in this box. I do a glass pen assignment around Mother's Day with my middle schoolers. Yes, I am that crazy teacher. So I've got these, and I think that that will count for a calligraphy pen. It better, because that's what I have. And then for vintage and haunted, I have this book. It is definitely vintage. See, the cover is absolutely falling apart, and we're going to be using the cover today. This is The Phantom Lady, a murder mystery by William Irish. And as I was looking through supplies and things, a story came to me. Not the story that's actually in this book, but something different. I also might be using some pages from inside this book as well. And I wanted to show you the back of this because this is kind of fun. So this is some pictures from the movie adaptation of the book. And apparently this is about a guy who is married, and he meets this strange lady who has this kind of pumpkin hat thing, and they go to the theater or something together. Yeah, he took her to dinner and to the theater. He had met her in a bar while trying to recover from a quarrel with his wife, and when he returned late to his apartment, his wife had been strangled with one of his own neckties, and his only alibi is this lady that he was like cheating on his wife with. And the witnesses at the theater and things swear that he was all alone. So was she real? Was she a ghost? Who knows? Now, as I said, we're not going to be using this story from the book. During Craftoween, you'll know this if you've seen this series in the past, I like to tell stories, and sometimes I just make them up while I'm working with things. I gently pulled apart the front cover from the spine, and we're going to do the same thing from here, if it will go. Will it go? Oh, it doesn't want to. Let me get a ruler. There's one oh, because there's tape behind it. That's why it was being stubborn. Okay, we now have our book cover, and my idea is that we're going to put this as kind of a flip out. It's going to open up, so I'll need to back it with something sturdy. And then underneath, we're going to see some images with some found pieces that I have that help tell this alternative story. And then on the opposite page, there is some writing space, so I will use the glass dip pen to do some writing. And that's as far as my plan goes at this point. So let me tell you a little bit more about the story that I had imagined. I was going through my Tim Holtz snippet strip thingies, and I saw this picture of two girls, and immediately it made me think about Eleanor and Marianne from Sense and Sensibility, and how they are each other's whole world. And when Marianne gets sick, Eleanor says, "I cannot do without you," and how everything during that time was about the women in your life, because these women didn't have a choice but to spend time together while they were waiting around for whatever else the men had decided to do. So they were so important to each other. So anyway, my thought was that these two girls were so close and loved each other so much that when one of them passed away, that because of the love of her sister, she became a phantom or a ghost who haunted everyone around her. And so this might represent the sister who's in mourning. We have a little graveyard here. These two are from Louisa Heinzel. And then something that I don't know if it quite matches the same style here, so I don't know if I'll use it, but it fits my storyline so perfectly. So this would be the sister that still lived, and then we have the phantom sister here, who wants to remain in her sister's life. And so the haunting that she does is to protect her sister. And whether she always does the right thing, maybe not. for example, maybe she drives away possible suitors for her sister, or that kind of thing. Maybe they really are bad for her sister, or maybe she just doesn't want anyone else to share. Let me know what you think. Should this sister be more of a malevolent kind of haunt, or just a caring, protective kind of haunt? Because I'm feeling more of the caring, protective mode, but it could be interesting to like switch the story to maybe she's just evil and wants to only have her sister for herself, and so no one else can have her, no friends, no men, no whatever. Anyway, so we're going to play with some of these pieces. I'm probably going to ink some of them up and things, and then start putting things together to make a visual representation of the story. Once again, apologies for the camera that goes in and out. It is actually my best camera to film on, despite the zooming in and out. I know it annoys some of you. Again, sorry. All right, you can see I did some stenciling here just with some vintage photo, little pluses here, or you could think of them as crosses, I guess, if you wanted to, on a page from the Phantom Lady book. And after I started stenciling, I realized that there's a phrase here that says 6 to 7. I don't know if you have a preteen or teenager in your life, but if you do they say 6, 7 all the time? My students say it all the time. They are going to be like tickled pink when I show them this. Anyway, something I did off camera real quick was just backed the book cover with some scrapbook paper. I didn't want to go too heavy. I should have left a little bit here to make a hinge, but I can hinge it with something else. That's okay. Actually might do a fabric hinge. That would be kind of fun. So in terms of placing it in the journal, I wanted to cover up this potion bottle. I showed you in the initial flip through that I had actually done 2 potion bottles back to back. This was an inadvertent thing just because of how I have to print. And they both have green liquid and they both say do not open, and you know, so we're gonna cover this one. We'll have this, I'm going to trim it down a little bit, do some of those images I showed you, make this little flip out thing. And then over here as well, we'll use the glass dip pen to write. So let's go ahead and just start working on some things. All right, so we hinged it with this purple fabric, and I then realized, you dummy, you didn't ink around the book cover, so should have done that before. And same goes for the inside of it with the scrapbook paper. This is a little bit plain on the inside here. And then I got thinking, well, do I want to put my writing on the inside over here instead? And then I thought, nope, don't want to. So I'm gonna leave this as is for now because I don't want to take away from all the stuff going on here. So I guess the next step is to pick out some ink, like a color of ink, and decide what I'm gonna write here. Is it gonna be a quote? Am I gonna write out the story that I thought of? What shall it be? Because I've let kids use this ink set, some of the bottles don't have stoppers in them, so this could get really messy. And of course I don't remember which ones have stoppers and which don't. Do I want to use orange maybe? That could be kind of fun. Let's do a little test of this color. This particular set of inks has some mica in it, so it's going to be a shimmery kind of color. Oh, yay. We've got a stopper. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not going to get ink on my fingers, because I definitely am, but ooh, at least there'll be less mess. I should have put gloves on, but you know what? I didn't. Okay, so I want to give it a good little stir while I'm dipping my pen in there. If I was going to do a longer piece of writing, I'd pour some out into a little cup or something. We can already see the color from the smudges and stuff, but I want to try writing with this pen and test it before I write in the journal. Yeah, that works pretty well. Okay, I'm happy with the color. I think it'll go well with the lady's pumpkin hat and such. I don't think I want to fill up the entire page. I want to do something kind of in the middle here, just a simple, maybe descriptive sentence or something like that. What if we just say something like, not all hauntings, oops. I already effed up that, but you know what? We're going to pretend that didn't happen. Not all hauntings are born out of, let's say, fear. Some come from love. And I think even if we decide our story is that the twin is in a more malevolent mode and wanting to keep her sister for herself and all this. Did we say twin or just sister? I don't remember. That still can be sparked by love. Not all hauntings are born out of fear. Some come from love. Can I fix this letter? Maybe a little bit. I'm gonna fix this S too. I want it to have a little. There we go. Now let's see if the ink has gone through. Oh, yep. We can see it coming through on the back side, so that'll need to be covered. I'm glad that I put this paper here to protect what's underneath. So we'll just let that dry for now, I think, and that should do it. We have vintage items in the book cover and the book page. We have the calligraphy pen. We use the ink dip pen. I don't have an official calligraphy pen, so again, this is just going to have to do it. And what was the other thing? Haunted. Yes, we have our story of haunting here with the sister. So, yay, that's it for day 6. All right, in just a few moments for you, it will be day 7, so make sure you stick around. Happy birthday to me. It's day 7 of Craftoween. Hey, thanks for joining me back for day 7. Day 7th of October is my birthday, so I've got myself some little treats here. Lit my birthday candle. Actually, I've been lighting this candle every day of Craftoween, which you know, or almost every day. And we're gonna go get some prompts so we know what to make. Here is number 7. You can't see it very well, but it's right there. One, two, third one just dropped out of my hand, but it's there. Okay, here they are. Purple Halloween word, bat. Orange junk journaling word, fold. Thank you, phone, for texting while I'm filming. Never fails. Green supply word or tool, doilies. What if I don't want to use a doily? Well, it's my own fault for putting it on the list. Okay, so we're gonna start with some of the things I found in my stash. We needed a doily. I have this small coffee dyed one, and then I have a great big giant white one. I'm leaning towards the small one right now. I have these fun bats. I'm pretty sure these came from Target, maybe? I don't remember. I need to write these things down. I don't know. But there's a couple different sizes, and their wings are perforated so you can fold them, so that would also help us with the fold prompt. We've got this small size, and we have great big ones and medium ones and stuff. So fun bats. Oh my gosh, seriously? I swear, my phone will sit silent all day long, and then as soon as I start filming, ding, 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 ding. Anyway, those are the 3 sizes of bats that we have to choose from. This I grabbed because I'd like to use it at some point. Maybe, I don't know if it would be right for today or not, but it is a little pamphlet that came with a book that I ordered ages and ages ago. It was Octonumi, Frostbite Files, a prologue. And it was one of those books that was stunningly gorgeous, but not the best story, at least in my opinion. But it came with this little booklet, and I really like the cover. I like the foiling and stuff. And then, I mean, we could use some of these pages, their dictionary pages, for backgrounds or collaging or something. I don't know. So maybe let's keep out one of each size of bat and the doilies, and then we'll look at some of the pages in the journal and see if anything sparks an idea. I have a few pages that I stuck little markers in just because I thought, oh, maybe a bat would be fun there. So we've got this page. Thought maybe some bats flying around this greenhouse, or maybe on the opposite page. Let's see. This one, another one with greenery, maybe a bat over here. That might be too much though if we're adding a doily and stuff. Let's not do that one. These 2 pages are very plain, so we could definitely do something here. And then this here, maybe it would be fun to have like a bat here and maybe some down here. I'm leaning toward this spread right now at the moment, so let's just take a minute and do some thinking about this one. If we had, say, a small bat on this page, and then maybe we took the doily or one of the white doilies, and then added a bigger bat, and we could fold in the wings so that they pop out. I really like that. I don't love that we have a coffee dyed doily on top of coffee dyed paper. What would it look like if we put a portion of a white doily? That doesn't work either. Maybe we can do something to this doily to make it stand out. I have an idea, and I don't know if it's gonna work. It might be an epic fail, but we can only find out by trying. I'm going to take some black acrylic paint, and using these lines from the oven when this got dried as a guide, I'm gonna paint some black stripes on the doily. Just the width of the paintbrush. Oops, that's actually smashing out to a little bit wider. Oopsie, oopsie. All right, this is dry and I feel like we need a little bit more contrast. So I thought about doing a couple different things, maybe splattering with some white pearlescent paint. But then what I decided to try was to use some white embossing powder, and we're gonna splatter with water and use that as our wet medium to have the embossing powder stick to. Okay, we're gonna do a little puddle in my hand and splat. My sister just sent me this picture. She's at Lake Tahoe. Dang her. Okay, I like this with the white splatters. I'm glad we added those because I don't think that the black stripes would have been enough. Let's bring the journal back out and see how it looks. Yep. I like this. Yeah, I like it kind of on an angle like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and glue down the doily, and then we still have to play with the bats and such before we can glue them down. One of the reasons I don't love working with doilies is because they're so fiddly to glue. All right, so if I hold this bat up close, you can see all the scoring marks here. So you can fold them in several places. They just kind of swing like that. I'm going to grab my bone folder, and I think for this big bat, we're gonna score on all the lines, and then we can kind of move the wings and decide how we want them to be placed on the page. Okay, I really like this with the wings kind of pointing up and stuff. That's cute. All right, if we glue him in like this, his little wing is gonna poke out a bit. If we turn him all the way so that this wing doesn't go into the crease, then he's gonna be clear down like this, and I don't like that. So what we're gonna have to do is do a crease here. So we will smush that down. So that fold will line up with the crease between the pages. And then we'll glue this baddie down like this. And when the journal closes, these wings are gonna get smashed down a bit. I know. Then what's the point, you might say? To have fun and create. Just let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Let's start with this wing since it has to go very specifically in a spot. Do you know what this little bat reminds me of? Batty from the Fern Gully, The Last Rainforest. Oh, look at that. He's not going to go all the way out of the page. Did I put it on a different angle than I had before? Oh, it just depends on how much I bend this, I guess. I see. Yeah. I know what I'm doing. Anyway, I was saying that this little bat just makes me think about Batty from Fern Gully, The Last Rainforest, which is a old cartoon movie that I haven't seen in ages. Maybe I'll look it up and see if you can stream it anywhere. Right now while I'm crafting, I'm watching a video from Gavin Reads It All. It came out a few days ago. Don't remember for sure when, but it's a 24-hour reading vlog, but not just like 24 hours built up over a couple of days so that you still sleep and all that. He's staying up for an entire 24 hours. I don't know how he can do that and still focus on reading. I had a bus trip with kiddos recently and lost a lot of sleep, and the next day when I got home from school, I went straight to bed thinking I was just gonna have a nap, and I did not wake up again till midnight. No joke. Okay, do we want to leave just the one bat, or do we want... yeah, I think we need this other one here, and I think we should make him flat. Flat against the page since the other one is so dimensional, so we'll just glue him down. So we have bats, we have a doily, and we have some folding. I think that's it. I I don't want to like overdo things, because sometimes when I overwork stuff, then I turn out to hate them. So I'm just gonna let this be for now. But as usual, if you have any comments or anything, let me know in the comments below. And stay tuned, because we have one more day in this video, day number 8, and so we'll see you then in a little while. It's time to light the candle for day number 8 of Craftoween. All right, welcome back. You were just here for day 7. This will be the last day that we put in this video. So I think the next video will be days 9, 10, and 11. I think. But for today, we need to know what our prompts are. Let's go to the advent calendar. Okay, let's start with our purple Halloween word. And we have skeleton. Our orange junk journal word, stitching, and then our supply word, scrap bowl. Okay, my scrap bowl is sitting right here. Usually sits on the floor next to me, and you can see that I've got a whole lot of stuff in here. It's overflowing. So I'll have to be digging through here for some stuff. And I also need to find something to make a skeleton, and we need to do some stitching. So let's get looking through the stash. All right, I have been through my stash and collected some skeleton type pieces, as well as just some pieces that just kind of jumped out at me. So I have some paint chip cards. This is the color Carrot Cake from Walmart, and it's just a lovely orange. I don't know. All of these things we may or may not use. We'll just see what happens. This is a card. These words are not in English, and I don't know if they even would make sense if they were. I don't know. But this skeleton pumpkin guy. This is a misprint from my blue steampunk Halloween journal. You haven't seen me working on it at all yet. But I was doing some double-sided printing, and the paper grabbed 2 pieces, so it printed a little bit here and then the rest of the page on another paper. So this I had to reprint and stuff. But I have this beautiful, beautiful skeleton here. Some more little things from Louisa, some skeleton people. This is a really lovely set of papers. Some of them have skulls on them. This is a set of papers I've had since I started collecting things for junk journaling, and I just haven't ever used all of them. I got them on an Etsy shop, and they were hand dyed by somebody, but for the life of me, I cannot remember what shop that was. I have this vellum skeleton couple. I have paper with bones. And then I have this. These are witchcraft labels from J. Lee Lou, and I liked this one that said skull dust. So we have some things that we could potentially work with. We have to remember to do the stitching as well. And to be honest, I'm not 100% sure how I want to approach this, other than I'm pretty sure that I want this to be the focal point. So maybe I should start with finding a place in the journal that this could go. So I'd left this in here on a different day. I was marking some pages, but what if we do this? Trim this down a little bit. Let this be the star of this side of the page, and then we use some of our other skeleton elements to do a cluster or collage or something there, or vice versa. This could be on this page and the other could go here. Let's start by trimming just a tiny bit off of this so that we'll for sure fit on whichever page we choose, and go from there. Ooh, I really like how that looks with the purple background, because it picks up some of these dark colors in here. I hadn't really thought of them as being purple-ish, but they are kind of a purplish blue. Okay. So I think we'll have this guy sitting on this side and then do something else over here. We need to do stitching and use things from the scrap bowl as well. I'm feeling overwhelmed because I have a variety of choices, so I think I'm going to take a little brain break, and then when I come back I will have a plan. All right, I've gathered some things from the scrap bowl. I have just a book page. This is from a masterboard thing that I made earlier this summer. I've got these little bits from Mary, who I met at the art retreat. Thank you again, Mary. This piece of like handmade paper with silver on it. I've got a denim ruffle. I've got some orange canvas. And then I cut out the skull dust thing and grabbed one of these papers that I showed you that I've had forever. And lastly, I found some thread to do stitching with. This is a very bright orange. And I chose some Distress Oxide that matches the color, which is the color of Carved Pumpkin. So, first things first, I think what I want to do is I'm going to ink around this with the Carved Pumpkin and then glue it down. And then we'll use our scraps and things to build the things up on the other page. Okay, what is next? And where do we want to stitch? Maybe should have thought of that before because I could have done stitching on this page. Oopsie. Okay, we pulled this paper back up because after I glued it down, I was thinking, oh, I could do like little stitching in the center of the flowers. I must learn to think before charging ahead recklessly. Okay, so you can see I added the denim ruffle down here and the skull dust, and you saw my little mishap with the stitching. I was gonna sew inside the center of the flowers, and when the first one started to break apart, I thought I need a new game plan. So I sewed stitches over the mouth, and I think that turned out really cute. Took a few pieces from the scrap bowl and 2 of the leaves that Mary had sent and did some collaging there. So this, and this is from the scrap bowl, and these kind of were sitting in there too, I guess. And then I thought we need a button. So I debated between different ones, but then I decided I like this one, and I think we're gonna add it here. And I am going to chop the strings. I don't want them hanging long on this particular one. Just another little pop of the orange color from the stitching. Okay, am I sure I want it there? Do I want it up here? Do I want it further down here? I actually kind of like it further down, so it's not right on top of those beautiful leaves. Okay, so I think that's going to be it for day number 8. We did our stitching, and we have a skeleton, and we used pieces from the scrap bowl, so I think we are good to go. So that'll be the end of this installment of Craftoween. Thanks for joining me for these days. Come back for the next one, which will be days 9, 10, and 11. Hope you're enjoying the series, and be sure to leave a comment below. If you're not sure what to say, leave me like a Halloween emoji or something, and we'll see you in the next one. Happy reading, crafting, or journaling. Adios.